I think that the biggest determining factor in whether you have a successful home improvement project or an unsuccessful home improvement project is going to be made by who you hire. And it's not always obvious or intuitive how to go about finding a service provider or contractor. So I wanted to share with you some tips on this. Like the sites we use for deciding what restaurant to go to or maybe who should cut our hair, not always the best way to go for choosing a service provider. So here are a few things I've learned along the way that I wanted to share with you. First, get a list of key people together before you have an issue. The last thing you want to do at 3 a.m. when your heat isn't working is be looking for service providers and have to pay an emergency fee or go with the first person who answers the phone. That's usually not going to be the best experience. I do recommend getting recommendations from neighbors and people you trust, particularly someone where you can ask them direct questions. I think that our expectations as humans vary greatly, and what might be a great experience for one person might not be for you. So ask questions about the things that matter most, like how were they with scheduling? How responsive were they? Maybe you care more about convenience than price. Know that about yourself and ask questions about that. You can't really always get that from reviews. And I also find that providers that have tons and tons, hundreds of 5-star reviews, like their prices usually reflect that. And so if something that's important to you is getting a good value, that might not be the right person. I also find that people are very consistent. So of course, people are gonna have an off day, but how somebody handles your inquiry, request for information, initial appointment is going to be very telling of how they run their business. If somebody's unresponsive, doesn't follow through, they're disorganized, it's safe to say that's how they're going to be. So if it's not good going into it, if it doesn't make you feel good, pick somebody else. Last but not least, most people know this, but for multiple projects or for larger projects, get multiple estimates. Don't share the prices that you have because they'll come in like a little bit lower. If you do have a ballpark budget in mind, share that in your initial conversation or inquiry. Like if you know you only want to spend $10,000 to $15,000 on a bathroom remodel, say that up front, because some people might say, I don't, that's not really the range that I work in. It'll just save you some time. So if you are looking for recommendations, I'm always happy to share my experiences. I don't keep like a fixed list because I will say it changes very often and I am updating it on like a weekly basis. But I'm always happy to share recommendations with you and hope that we can help you to have a more positive home ownership experience.